Hi everybody, it is crazy people pumpkin spice season right now.
Beautiful, Mommy.
My kids are eating breakfast, so
Mommy.
you will have a soundtrack behind you of Masha and the Bear and whatever app Jesse is playing. Pretty much yesterday I posted a low point drink for, well, pumpkin spice drink. I used cashew milk, you can use almond milk, soy milk, the Kroger brand, well, the stuff you can find at Kroger that's awesome. Carb Master, lactose-free milk, 1 point per cup vanilla, it's awesome. But because I have a can of pumpkin puree in my fridge right now, I have to use it. So I'm going to show you over the soundtrack, hopefully you'll be able to hear me. Come to the sound of my voice. I'm going to show you how to make a pumpkin spice steamed mini cake. You can also bake it in the oven, but it's crazy awesome if you steam it. If you have the means, do it. Mini cake, 3 points on all plans, and it's going to be covered with a sugar-free maple syrup molasses sauce with crushed. They would be pecans, but I'm not running to the store to get 1.5 grams of pecans. So we're using walnuts, and I'm going to say that my walnuts self-identify as pecans because I live in California, and therefore I can. So pretty simple. I have a pot of water at a rolling boil right now, and this pot comes with a steamer insert. So we will be utilizing that, and an 8-ounce ramekin. 8 ounces, not a smaller one, otherwise it's going to look like Mount Vesuvius or a big mushroom cloud. So the dry ingredients, this is pretty much my standard quarantine cake, and right off the bat, for the people who are new to me, the reason why this uses baking soda, vinegar, instead of having eggs, is this is based off of the, the Depression cake from the Great Depression era. Back in the early days of the quarantine, most of us couldn't find eggs or dairy at the grocery stores, so I thought I'd, mash up one of those old full-size Depression cakes into this small little single-serving thing that doesn't take a lot of flour, doesn't need any eggs, anything like that, and doesn't require any crazy expensive buckets of protein powder that you could find with the discount code. None of that stuff, just stuff that you have in the cabinet when you're rationing. So this has a 1/4 cup. Yes, you can't have ice cream right now, Jesse. I was talking to him, not you. This has only a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. This has a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, an 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking powder, 3 tablespoons preferably, though it's personal preference, of 0 point sweetener o' choice. If you use more than that, adjust points. I know Splenda, over 2.5 points, over 2.5 tablespoons, it gets a point. So, use accordingly. Between 2.5 to 3 tablespoons is ideal. And then we are having, for dry ingredients, I'm adding an extra 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and you can use either 1 teaspoon of McCormick's pumpkin spice extract, or if you don't want to spend the bucks on that, and you have pumpkin pie spice seasoning, add 1/2 teaspoon. We're really going up on the pumpkin spice flavor in this. So the dry ingredients are everything dry that I listed. For the wet ingredients, we are going to have a 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree, 3 tablespoons of water. I used the teaspoon of the extract, and therefore I forwent using actual pumpkin spice. And 2 teaspoons of white vinegar. Now, once again, the vinegar is going to react with the baking soda, baking powder, and start bubbling up. It's going to be like big Alka-Seltzer and bubble up like the science experiment you had in 3rd grade when you made a volcano in class and got Miss Baptista very angry when your vinegar lava flowed all over the classroom floor, which happened. So we are going to mix these together. Sorry, Miss Baptista, if you're still alive and and Weight Watchers, and happen to be watching this. And then we whisk it together. See, minus my jabbering, this is actually a very quick and easy cake to throw together if the person making it shuts up and just makes it, but not me.
Look at all those
And that's it. Now it immediately starts bubbling and frothing a bit. We're going to take a rubber spatula and put our batter into our ramekin, or as they say in France, ramekin. There you go. This is a slightly thick batter. Now it's a big uneven mound right now, no problem. Spin it. We're going to put it right in our steamer insert basket. We have the water at a rolling boil right now. Put it to medium-high heat. We want a hard boil. And because of the pumpkin, this is denser. So we are going to steam this at a hard boil. Well, the water is going to be at a hard boil. And it's going to cause mucho steamo for 22 minutes. And then we'll be right back. Okay, it has been 22 minutes. The kids are in the other room, thank God, behind the protective baby gate, which protects me more than it does them. It's like a diver in with the sharks. For you people who are expecting kids, that's pretty much what it's like putting these gates up there for you, not for the kids. Anyway, it's been 22 minutes. The mini cake has been steaming. Take this baby out. It is very hot right now. I'm gonna set it right there as we get our toppings ready. So this is done and it's just cooling a little bit. Glorious. Newbie. So pretty much 4 toppings. Measured in grams, my 0 point amount of self-identified pecans, which they're actually walnuts, but we are going to pretend they're pecans for purposes of the recipe, because I wish they were. We're just going to crush these up. You might be thinking like 1.5, 2 little teeny pecans / almonds. You know, that's not a lot. Well, this is just one little mini cake. So sprinkled around, it's going to be plenty of coverage. So it's just crushed. I'm going to put it right back into our little baby Tylenol container for measuring. Now for the sauce, I am going to pull on my full dad cred and use one of Rachel's little mini teacups. So we are going to use, depending on the brand of your sugar-free pancake syrup / maple syrup, you can use 1 tablespoon, you could use 2 tablespoons, whichever, scan and use accordingly. We're using a 0 point amount for this brand. I'm using 2 tablespoons of sugar-free pancake syrup. And then, to jazz it up a little bit, molasses. Now, what? Molasses has points. Everything has points. But in a small enough quantity, it's 0. And so for just these 2 little tablespoons of syrup, adding a 1/4 teaspoon, 0 points, of molasses to it gives it a good, rich depth of flavor, and sounds a little more fancy Nancy. Yes, I said fancy Nancy. I have children. Give that guy a break. Stir that up, and now we have a sugar-free molasses maple syrup. Faux molasses maple syrup. The molasses isn't faux. F-A-U-X. And so that is our sauce. Now I have my plate right here. Going to drizzle There we go. Now this is only mildly skin burning. I'm going to take our cake, going to place it nice right there. Let's just pour the whole rest of it. I'm just going to eat this anyway. Who cares? No sensation in my fingertips. And now you could use either regular powdered sugar or swerve powdered sugar or monk fruit powdered sugar. We are going to use such a small quantity to dust this cake that it's going to be 0 points anyway. We aren't even going to use 1/8 of a teaspoon. A fine mesh wire strainer. Have a big scoop, but we're not going to use it all. And you're just going to tap, 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 tap right over the top of your cake. Going to take our crushed peanuts, our crushed nut of choice, and going to sprinkle it on the top and on the syrup. Then going to take a 0 point amount of sugar-free, fat-free, whipped almond milk, whatever you want. Cool Whip. Set that to the side. There you go. And then going to take our itty bitty little bit of mint and put that on the top. There we go. And this is our 3-point little pumpkin pie spice. I cannot say that 10 times fast. Pumpkin pie spice, pumpkin pie spice. I can't do it. Our pumpkin pie spice steamed cake. If you don't want to steam it, you want to use just a regular oven, I would bake it at 375 for about 25 minutes. Yeah, around that. 375, 25 minutes, and it would be done. It won't be as moist and spongy, but you know, you don't need a big steamer insert and pot for it. It works just fine.